Hey, what's up? It's Tati and I'm back with another review of AEW Rampage. We started off the night with a trios match with the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. And this match was probably the only match that I enjoyed during this show. So both these teams are really competitive, and even though I think everyone pretty much knew what the outcome would be for this match, they still did a pretty good job at being entertaining. So you definitely got to see how the Butcher and the Blade experience play in this match, since they have been a tag team for quite some time, versus the Blackpool Combat Club. They've been together but not as long, so we did get to see a lot of a cohesive unit with the Butcher and the Blade, and they were really competitive in this match. Although I never thought that the opposite team was going to win, I still thoroughly enjoyed this match. This match does end with Claudio hitting uppercut to Kip, and they end up winning that match. After that match, we did have two of the members from the show Impractical Jokers. They came out with Jericho's baseball bat, basically talking shit, and Jericho basically said that he has people that will take care of their asses, and then the rest of the Jericho Appreciation Society comes out and end up putting both of them through a table. Now, as a wrestling fan, I think that's really cool that you get to participate in a segment like this and get thrown through a table. However, this was an absolute waste of time, and then I don't know exactly how long this went for, but it made the rest of the show feel like it had to go quick, because something like this was just thrown in and it just didn't really make sense, and it wasn't entertaining to me. This was absolutely not needed with the show. I know AEW works part of a network, and being part of a network, sometimes you have to promote other shows. However, they were already on Dynamite the other day. We've seen Chris Jericho on their show, if you do watch it. So it's like, it didn't really feel like it was needed for them to waste some time. So I really didn't care for this segment at all. So after that fiasco, we do have Dustin Royalters being interviewed in what looks like to be a warehouse. He's really upset that Swerve brought up his family and he wants to whoop his ass. And in the middle of him talking, we do have those two other idiots that are with Swerve. They come, and Dustin decides he's just going to go for the first blow. So he starts hitting them, and the three of them are fighting. And it doesn't really last long after they throw him against like a wood pallet, and he's laying there talking about, ow, my back, my back, my back. And then here comes Swerve, and it seems like something is brewing between them. I think they might have a match on Dynamite next week. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really care too much for the storyline, but I am interested in seeing these two go at it in the ring. Up next, we have Ruby Soho versus Marina Shaffir, and I have to be honest, like, this right here did not do it for me. I don't really recommend watching this match, and main reason why is, first thing, both these girls are small compared to other girls. However, you can really see a size difference between them. Like, Shaffir is like bigger than Ruby Soho. However, that did not play an advantage. We do have Ruby, who ends up picking up a win during this match, but I have like two things that bothered me here. It felt like these girls did not have chemistry. Like, maybe they've never worked together before, whatever the situation is. At times it just feel like the two of them just weren't together, and I don't really like that, because that takes away from the match completely, and I just wasn't interested, but I watched. And another thing that bothered me was Vicky Guerrero. Her presence doesn't bother me, it's the lack of them doing something with her. Like, having a manager is supposed to help your career. It's supposed to help the storyline. It's supposed to help tell a story. And I feel like they just rely on having Vicky out there to be screaming. Sometimes you don't even notice that she's there. And I feel like that right there is not the right way to go. They really need to do something to make her being a manager for Nyla and Marina. It has to be something more than what they're doing. I don't feel like they're taking advantage of someone like Vicky Guerrero as a manager in this company. So I do hope they make some changes with that. Up next, we did have Mark Briscoe, who basically announced that he'll be in action next week. So he was being his usual funny, cheery self, and it was really great to see him being in great spirits. To be honest, I kind of thought this might be about the ROH titles, but I don't think we'll hear anything about that until the actual pay-per-view. But I did think that's where they were going with that. So, you know, he's talking and he seems to be in good spirits. And then we have Mark Sterling, who comes out of the blue and interrupts his interview. And before Mark can get his hands on him, we do have Tony Nese, and we have some other dude, I can't remember his name, and then we have Josh Woods, who hasn't been around for a couple of weeks. And so next week we do have Josh Woods versus Mark Briscoe, so that will be an interesting match since we have seen them in the ring in the past. And I'm really glad to see that Mark can you know, be part of the AEW roster and you know, show everyone what he has. So the next match of the night was Jungle Boy versus Ryan Nemeth, and there's nothing really to talk about. This match was over in like less than 2 minutes. I'm annoyed. I really am. I feel like for someone like Jungle Boy, who has his eye out on, you know, winning a title, this is not the way to be booking him. For him to have 2-minute matches, absolutely not. This is the same bullshit they did with Wardlow. I felt like they absolutely did the booking. Well, it started off pretty bad with him having those squash matches for like 2 minutes against pretty much nobodies. And I feel like they're probably going to do the same thing with Jungle Boy before he can actually get some gold. And I don't like that way at all. It does not make sense to me. It was just only 2 minutes. You want to show somebody why so-and-so should be champion, and you want to show that in 2 minutes where he's barely fighting someone? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. This right here, I don't know. AEW, get it together. You guys, if y'all want to put some gold on him, y'all gotta book it much better than this. I did not like this at all. So after Jungle Boy's match, we do have Brian Cage, who come out, and he's basically signaling to Jungle Boy that he wants to go against him. So they'll be having a match next week on Dynamite. And to be honest, I don't like this because it's obvious that Jungle Boy is going to be having a winning streak, and you have Brian Cage, who is a great wrestler, who is holding ROH gold. Why should he be on a losing streak right now? It just doesn't make sense to me. And on top of that, you know, he's part of the 6-man tag champions, and we do not see his partners at all. Well, I see them doing other things, but not part of AEW. And I feel like the way they're going towards both pay-per-views, Revolution and Supercard of Honor, which are both next month, we have nothing going on. The only thing confirmed is Bryan Danielson versus MJF for Revolution, and nothing else. And to be honest, that's not good. Just a month away from a pay-per-view, there should be a lot more going on. And I don't like to feel like a pay-per-view is just thrown together when a story really isn't being told with basically every match on the card. So let's move on to the main event. So for the main event for the All Atlantic title, it's Orange Cassidy versus Lee Moriarty. Before this match, we do have Danhausen, who called Lee Moriarty Lee Mortuary, and the way he said it was really funny. He's somebody who's super over with the crowd, and to be honest, he's definitely lost more matches than he's ever won, that's for sure. But we hardly get to see him at his full potential, or even half of what he can do in the ring, and I think that's really, really unfortunate. He does, you know, provide like some comic relief throughout, you know, whenever he's out with the best friends or whatnot, but I do feel like they should really take advantage. Every week there's like a new Danhausen shirt on AEW's website. However, they're not really using him in a way that they should, and it's a waste of time, to be honest. But I do think he makes a lot of people laugh. So even with him being ringside, sometimes it is a distraction, but I guess people are so used to it and he's so over that it doesn't come off so annoying. This match was not bad, but if I missed it, I wouldn't feel like I missed something really important. To be honest, the All Atlantic title, something about it, it's not making sense. Orange Cassidy is the second person to hold this title, and it just feels like a lot of his credibility has died since he won it. Part of the reason why is when Pac won it, he was defending it outside of AEW. Now, I don't think they did the best job at showing his title defenses outside of AEW, but they were going somewhere with this that I think was really unique. And once the title changed hands to Orange Cassidy, we'd never seen Orange go anywhere else other than defending it in AEW. And he just comes off like he almost don't even care he has the title. I know that's part of his gimmick, but something about it just takes away the importance of the title, and it doesn't feel like what it felt like when Pac had it. But nonetheless, this was a really great match. We do have Lee Moriarty, who's super talented. I feel like he keeps getting the short end of the stick. Not just him, but basically all the guys in the firm. All the guys in the firm are really talented, and for whatever reason, just because they're heel, they're losing all the time, and that's taking away from them, and not in a positive way. It's not like when Wheeler Yuta kept losing. However, he kept looking better every time he lost, and that's something that's missing right now for a lot of these young guys who are just there to do the job and lose. And Lee Moriarty is one of those guys. Maybe he might need some work with, you know, personality and being on the mic. Well, that's what Stokely Hathaway is there for. But I think what he has to offer in the ring as a competitor is really, really great. And unfortunately, I feel like that doesn't really get enough recognition because these guys are being booked to lose against other people. AEW really needs to work on that. This match was okay. We did get to see a lot of you know, technical moves from Lee Moriarty. We get to see the same usual from Orange Cassidy, but I do think Orange Cassidy is a really, really great wrestler, but he plays so much on the lazy wrestler gimmick thing that I think it does him a disservice sometime. Orange Cassidy ends up winning this match, and to be honest, I'm really over that. You know, I do think AEW can benefit from having some much older guys to help them with the booking. I mean, like guys who's been around in the 80s, the 70s even, that can provide some real advice as to how to book these guys, but also help them get over, even the ones who are losing. And I just feel like they rely a little bit too much on some of these really great wrestlers to have a losing streak, and that right there is unfortunate. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back with a review for Dynamite next week. Bye.